Hey everybody, it's Hummingbird 027. It's still November 9th, 2011. Today is just like an explosion of information and news, guys. This is crazy. All right, so NASA, this is their webpage for all you wonderful, loving scoffers out there. Asteroid and Comet Watch, YU-55. Scientists are finding structures on the surface of this asteroid that just passed by us. There's a little movie up above here, and you guys can come back and watch this yourselves. Scientists working with the 230-foot wide deep space network antenna at Goldstone, California, have generated a short movie clip of asteroid 2005 YU-55. The images were generated from data collected at Goldstone on November 7th between 11:24 a.m. and 1:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They are the highest resolution images ever generated by radar of a near-Earth object. So, the movie shows the small subset of images obtained at Goldstone on November 7th that have finished processing. By animating a sequence of radar images, we can see more surface detail than is visible otherwise, says radar astronomer Lance Bernan, the principal investigator for YU-55 observations. The animations reveal a number of puzzling structures on the surface that we don't yet understand. To date, we've seen less than one half of the surface, so they're expecting more surprises as they continue to look at all of this information they just received. So you guys can read this article yourself. Here's another one that is from the Register, and some of these puzzling structures on the surface, they don't know what they are. It's uncertain just what Benner means by puzzling structures on the hurtling space spheroid. Naturally, we here on the reg space desks are hoping that in fact YU-55 is in fact an alien spaceship or habitat module of some kind. So this is a little extreme, but you never know. Weird stuff happens. So just so you know that NASA is finding puzzling structures on the asteroid. The FEMA FCC takeover test fails in certain areas. Weird noises heard in others. This is from the Intel Hub. The FEMA test takeover was scheduled to happen at 17 minutes ago, and this must have been put in a couple hours ago actually. Here in Portland, we got a warning about 5 minutes before 11 Pacific time, but then the test never happened. I repeat, we got no FEMA tests here in Portland. Others on different forums are reporting that it didn't happen in their area neither. So I just had one of my viewers email me and say that Florida, they were watching CNN even on Dish Network, and they never even saw one thing that had to do with the emergency test. So here is that proof. In Florida, Intel Hub reporter and radio host Bob Tuskin reported strange sounds coming from his radio that he described as a possible form of mind control, yada yada. A station manager in Florida confirmed the weird noises and diluted voices that Bob Tuskin heard. So a lot of people didn't actually get to hear this stuff. So the reason why I think they're saying that some of this could have been mind control type stuff is on this particular video here. You guys can watch it on your own. It actually sounds like there's the announcer, and then over the announcer you can hear some garbled men talking back and forth to each other. It's very strange to listen to. So I thought I would bring that up to you guys to watch on your own. This is going to be an Alaska storm update too. So here is the time of the greatest coastal flood threat and height of a storm surge above the maximum astronomical tide. And so here you have the whole outline in blue shades where the coastal flooding is going to occur, and in most of these areas it's going to be 5 to 8 feet large. Okay, so this is the flooding that's going to be coming in. People who are in this area, they need to leave. Look at all these coastal towns here that are going to be inundated with floods. I mean, there's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. There's like 20 villages here that are actually going to be hit by 5 to 8 feet of water for flooding. I'm going to post this up so you guys can look at this. They're definitely issuing winter storm, blizzard, coastal and inland flooding. It's getting pretty bad up there, guys, so keep praying for Alaska. SWAT team deployed as gun battle erupts on U.S.-Mexican border. Gunmen crossed the Rio Grande into the U.S. near a shootout between where the Mexican military and a group of gunmen were taking place. Several area SWAT teams responded about 1:30 p.m. Tuesday to a ranch near Escoberos, just across the U.S.-Mexican border, where a shootout broke out south of the Rio Grande. The shootout reportedly began shortly after noon, but details were not immediately available. Residents on the U.S. side reported seeing members of the U.S. Border Patrol and Starr County Sheriff's Office securing the area. So nasty stuff going on down there. Markets are melting in response to Italy's implosion. I just took a look at the index and it was almost 400 points down. I think it was like 387. So all the stock markets are pretty much imploding right now. They're going down fast. Italy's about ready to go under, you guys. Just wanted to bring this to you. You guys can watch this on your own. Big banks plead with customers not to move their money. 650,000 customers moved $4.5 billion out of big banks into smaller banks and credit unions just last month. Bank of America continues to be a great place for customers, they're saying, to manage their everyday finances, blah, 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 and they like to charge 30% interest rates and screw the American people over. I have no sympathy for you, Bank of America. You can cry yourself to bankruptcy. I don't care. Just don't ask me to bail you out because I don't want to. So here's all kinds of interesting stuff. Wells Fargo is crying to the public, so is SunTrust. You guys can read this sad story yourself. I don't have any sympathy for them at all. Rogers, 100% chance of crisis worse than 2008. Italy implodes. Veteran investor Jim Rogers warned this morning that there is a 100% chance the world is facing a financial crisis worse than 2008, as Italy was plunged into chaos on the back of a soaring bond yields, which now makes the country's huge debt unsustainable, mandating yet another EU bailout. We're certainly going to have more crisis coming out of Europe and America. The world is in trouble. The world has been spending staggering amounts of money that it doesn't have for a few decades now, and it's all coming home to roost. Last time America quadrupled its debt. The system is much more extended now, and America cannot quadruple its debt again. Greece cannot double its debt again. The next time around is going to be much worse, Rogers said, adding that the chance of the Eurozone crisis causing another global financial meltdown was 100%, and that the fallout would be worse than the 2008 collapse. The situation in Italy has grown increasingly precarious, with the yield on bonds passing the level which suggests the nation will need to be bailed out. At 10:50 a.m., the yield on the 10-year benchmark stood at 7.419%, a massive 0.7% jump on the day. Bond yields are the return which the government offers investors who buy debt in the form of bonds. The yield is surging because investors globally are dumping Italian bonds, forcing the government to crank the interest rates higher and higher in order to attract buyers. This record high in bond yields now means that Italy's debt is unsustainable without the aid of yet another EU bailout, which will come with strings attached in the form of austerity measures that are almost guaranteed to provoke unrest in a similar scale to what we've already seen in Greece. Right now, Italy has a debt to GDP ratio of 118%. If they keep expanding that debt, it's going to result in a financial nightmare. But if they try to implement strict austerity measures, it is also going to result in a financial nightmare. They're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. So, guys, it's all coming to an end. All of it is. And I'll tell you what, just think of this. Just think for one moment about the return of Christ. Even if you don't believe in the Bible or religions or this or that, just think about having only 7 years left in order to decide where you want to spend the rest of eternity. Do you want to spend it in hell with Satan and his demons forever? Or do you want to spend it in heaven with Jesus Christ and in love and joy? The choice is before you. I cannot stress enough how bad this is going to get. We are at the beginning of sorrows. The woman has not even yet started to have contractions, okay? She still has to go through the whole birthing process. That's what the Great Tribulation is all about. It's going to be bad. It's getting worse every day. 10 million people are set up in America alone right now, set to foreclose on their homes, next to the already numerous amounts of people who have foreclosed on their homes. Wake up, everybody. This is a wake-up call. The stink bomb has went off. It's time to react. Okay, guys? I love you all. Pray to God. We are in crisis mode here. This is crazy. I love you all. Have a good night, and I'll keep on top of all of this. Talk to you all later. Bye.